Hi, my name is Rachel and welcome back to Auxhart Gardening. This is our week 10 garden tour and I have my friend Christa here with me to look through the garden and help me harvest the mountain of vegetables that it is producing. You might notice it looks like it's about to storm, so we're going to try to get this garden tour filmed for you guys so that I can get it out to you on time. So here on the right hand side of the garden are the sunflowers and the tomatoes. We also have this pretty purple basil right here next to the marigolds. And the tomatoes I've actually been harvesting quite a bit from, but a lot of them have this issue where caterpillars keep getting to them before I do. So I've been harvesting tomatoes just a little earlier than you might normally. Just so that I can get to them and actually get to be able to eat them. So we're gonna get the ones that are just barely starting to blush. Oh wow.
That's a big boy.
Turn it over and look at the bottom. This one is fasciated, it was fused. They're not supposed to be this big. I think I see one back there. Oh yes, that one too. Here.
Should I clip them under that like bulbous part?
I actually don't think it matters.
So they have like a bubble.
Yeah.
Actually, it doesn't matter where I clip?
No, it doesn't. If the tomato, if you were to let it get fully ripe, it would detach from the plant at about that spot.
Okay.
But since we're picking them a little bit early, the stem is going to be stiffer. It seems like there's not a lot, and then you go to start picking them and you're like, oh my god.
Can you pass?
And those nasturtiums are blooming too. Oh, can y'all hear that thunder in the background? Nasturtiums, if you didn't know, are edible, and the flowers taste kind of like peppery, so a lot of people like to put them in salads. I cannot handle the spice, so I just grow them in the garden for their pretty little lily pad leaves. The garden is becoming ever more wild. Getting through it is a struggle. Like this path right here is maybe the only real path left all the way through the garden. As you can see, everything else is just overgrown. There's even the pumpkin is growing all the way up this trellis over here. And the eggplants, if you remember, I was worried that they weren't growing for a while, but they definitely are growing. There's some massive eggplants coming on. Oh my gosh, I just touched this cinnamon basil. Every time it just smells amazing.
Is that blushing enough?
Yeah, that one's blushing enough. And so with the runner beans, you want to look for these ones that have just started to get fat. Because that's right when they'll still be tender, but they'll be about as big as they get before they stop being tender.
And I clip right here?
Yep. I see some people yank beans off of plants, and I haven't really mastered that technique yet because when I do it, it just kind of like tears the plant. I think there's some over there through the trellis too.
What about this one? He's shorter, but I feel like he has
Yeah.
a little bit of bubble.
And picking it early, it doesn't really matter because it'll be tender and nice. You're just missing out on a tiny bit of the size. And because I have so many of them, I really don't care. I'm gonna struggle to eat them. So these runner beans that I planted, I put them in initially because I was like, hey, I wonder how these are going to coexist with my tomatoes. And right here on the end is really the only spot where they're taking over. The rest of the trellis is mainly the tomatoes, and you can see here in the middle I put another runner bean up here. Oh, runner beans are attacking me. How many beans did you get?
This is what I got so far.
These are so pretty. I haven't actually cooked any yet this year. I forget if they stay purple or if they turn green. Hey Christa, turn around and look at those sunflowers.
Ooh,
These
are my babies.
Yeah. These are the ones that she planted. She did this whole row here, and they're the ones where I just gave her a couple of seed packets and I was like, surprise me. And they are beautiful.
Yeah. I'm like their surrogate mother.
Do you have a favorite color?
Definitely the dark ones.
Yeah, me too.
The dark ones are my favorite.
I wish the mammoth ones would grow in that dark color.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Oh my goodness. Oh my god, look at that corn. Hopefully we get this filmed. So a lot of the peppers are not looking so hot. You can see they have these like weird mushy spots on them, and then the rest of them are fine. So like I think I could pick these and just cut around the mushy spot and have them be okay. But I don't actually know what's causing that.
Okay.
I think it could be probably the disease that is like giving them all of these little spots. I'm not 100% sure on that. It could be something like aphids that kind of suck the sap out of plants.
Should we pick them?
Yeah, we should probably, well, we can leave the ones that are still green, and then we can get the ones that are red. Like there's a red one down there. I think because the rest of the flesh is so firm, they're okay to wait. Ooh.
That's a pretty one.
Do you remember what kind that is?
It is a Lessa.
Those are supposed to be UV resistant Sharpies.
You know, yeah. I am so bad about remembering them from memory though.
Okay, so,
Oops, sorry.
oh wow, there's a lot more down here. If you pick them a little early, like Christa just did, where they're like not entirely red and you didn't notice, that's okay. They just won't be quite as sweet. They'll be more like a green pepper. Still perfectly edible and fine though.
He looks like a skeleton.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it's for Halloween or something, doesn't it?
Okay. So, any others on this row, do you think?
I don't see any that are fully red.
Okay. Do these turn red or do they turn orange?
They turn red.
So not yet.
Yeah. That outfit is so cute.
Oh, I got slimy.
Uh-oh. What'd you get on yourself?
A little, I think one of the ones on the bottom might have been a little rotten. But that's okay.
Yeah. You getting tired of picking peppers yet?
Never. So my garden is very small and Rachel's garden is very luscious. And so I like the best part of gardening, in my very biased opinion, personal opinion, is picking and like harvesting all the things. So I'm here for it.
So we're about to move on to the eggplant. If y'all remember, I have two different varieties. There's the Nagasaki Long and the Antigua. The Antigua is the pretty stripy one, and the Nagasaki Long is the like the long purple one.
So Rachel, how do I know if they're ready? Is it like a size or a color?
It's I think it's kind of tricky with eggplant. The internet says that you should wait until they stop growing and then are still firm. And if you wait too much long after that, they'll start forming the seeds inside, and then they'll get like a little tougher. But I think there's like a fair bit of a window you can get them in. And again, as with the beans, if you get them younger, then the only thing you're missing out on is a little bit of size. They'll still be just as tender.
Sounds good. Doesn't it?
Yeah, it does kind of look like a gondola.
I feel like I can see a little man rowing.
If we look further on, I think there is some spiral ones.
Ooh. Like on this plant?
I think a couple of plants down. Oh, yeah, that one's definitely ready.
Okay.
With the size thing, really, it's just like seeing the eggplants and knowing how big they're supposed to get. If it's your first time growing eggplants, you might have to just kind of wait and watch them. Yeah, that one's not as dark, but because it's a similar size, it's probably about ready. These ones have such long stems.
They do. They're so pretty though.
Oh my goodness, this wind. I feel like we're about to be hit by a hurricane or something.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, I don't think so, not for real. But this is the windiest the windiest it has been since I moved in here. So a big storm coming. Anything else over here?
Not yet. I feel like I got most of the ones that were on the other side.
Yeah, that one probably.
I might need to drop this off.
Look at this curly one. It's so hard to see properly on camera, but it is basically spiraling itself in. So we're gonna move on and start harvesting the noodle beans, which is what's on this trellis here. This is my favorite part of the garden. And some of them have gotten away from me and have started to get really fat. So I'm just gonna leave those for seed stock for next year. And Christa is gonna help me get all the ones that are like medium sized, similar to green beans. You wanna wait until you can just barely see them starting to bulge and then go ahead and pull them at that point. So a lot of these are right on the edge. Oh wow, right in front of my face is a wasp. These guys kind of give me little standoffs when I'm trying to pick the noodle beans because they'll sit right there on the top. And I have to decide, am I gonna bother this wasp and try and get this noodle bean, or am I gonna come back another day? What are you getting in there so far?
I am getting lots of happy little purple. What are they? Chinese noodle beans?
Yeah, exactly. This one for sure is too big to pick, and you can see, you can't feel it, I guess, through the camera, but it is starting to get not as tight feeling, and you can feel the beans in it just very solidly. And so once this dries out, this will be really good for seed. But at the point that it's at now, it is not really that tasty for eating because the skin is starting to feel a little leathery and dry. There are so many noodle beans. I've tried freezing them, and I haven't tried them yet out of the freezer. But basically I just blanch them and then put them in the freezer. We'll see how well they do. If they are good, then I will definitely do a lot more of those that way because I cannot eat all of these fresh. I've even been giving some away to Christa, and we can't go through them all.
I think the noodle beans are my favorite thing that has come out of Rachel's garden because they look absolutely beautiful and magical, and they taste like green beans, and I love some green beans. So definitely my favorite.
I think they're Devin's favorite too, actually. Yeah. He keeps recommending them to his family. He's like, Rachel, can you bring noodle beans for family dinner? Oh, look at the kitty under the stairs. This is one of the feral cats that kind of just lives around. One of my neighbors feeds them, and they like to hang out around here. There are so many green beans to harvest. Every time you think you've got them all, you look down the plant and you're like, nope, there's more. Just like with the noodle beans, I'm harvesting more of these than I can eat. It's a lot. I think a row of this size, so this is like, I don't know, how far is this, Christa? Like a 30-foot row?
Sure.
I don't know. It's a very long row. And I think a row like this is supposed to feed like a family of 4.
Probably a family of 4 that eats this a lot.
Look at this little itty bitty baby pumpkin.
I know. What a cutie.
Check out this little dude. Does anybody know what type of caterpillar this is? He's munching a little bit, but seeing as I have so many, I'm really not that worried about it. And I hope that he grows into something pretty that actually takes care of the garden. Check out these red flowers coming on. These are scarlet runner beans that I put in with the cucumbers. I wasn't sure if they were actually growing or not. It's so hard to see what's going on with all of this awfulness. Okay, so we just spent like, I don't know, 30 minutes picking green beans?
Probably.
It was a lot. We'll show you guys how many there were later. But we are finally moving on to the cucumbers. And Christa looks real cute in there, but the cucumbers do not look very cute. They are definitely at the end of their lifespan. And at this point, I might tear them out and try and grow some pole beans at these, just to get like another harvest from the area before fall. Because it'd be a little early to plant something like peas in the heat right now. But there are still some cucumbers that we need to harvest, amazingly. Okay, so can you find the cucumbers?
Okay, so
This is like famously difficult for me personally.
how about this one?
That one's probably a good size to pick.
Okay. And then there's some over here. Ooh.
Look at those guys.
Oh, they're mating.
There's a lot of that going around.
Oh, interrupted. Okay, so this one, would you say wait?
It's hard to say because it's starting to get deformed at the bottom, and it might be done and just the bottom be pointy.
So good?
Yeah, we can probably pull it.
Okay.
I have so many cucumbers, I don't necessarily need to wait until they're huge.
Yeah.
This is yet another fruit where picking it early is only costing you a little bit of size.
Ooh, I missed one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
This one has those yellow guys on it.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I got way too close.
That one's probably not going to be super fun to eat.
The bottom half looks okay.
So weirdly enough, I haven't seen any cucumbers like past mid-height on the trellis. I was kind of hoping some of them would grow and hang down, but they have not.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, we keep finding more. I thought there was going to be like 4.
Oh, that is a big one.
Yeah.
So is this one.
Nice. So I recently trellised up these tomatoes. I know it's hard to tell because it's still super wild back here, but it actually is much cleaner looking than it was previously. A lot of these plants were literally laying on the ground, and I have clipped a lot of dead squash leaves out of here as well to kind of make it a little more open and accessible. There were some rotted fruits that had been sitting on the ground, which is the biggest reason why you don't want to just let your tomatoes grow across the ground. The fruits will just rot and you won't get your harvest, which is why it was so bad that I was so lazy and not trellising these up. And look at this dude. These are so pretty. It's like almost ombre. And then the yellow ones are just huge. These were all just random colors that we threw in here because back when Christa and I were planting, it rained a little bit and the seed packet got wet, and we were like, well, either we use them now or never. And so we just kind of scattered them in this area with the tomatoes, because this area of tomatoes in particular I hadn't really planned on having. I thought it was just going to be this big trellis over here, but I had so many extra plants I couldn't not plant them. Check out the corn. I think the wind from earlier just snapped this one like just now. The ears of corn are not fully developed on any of these, so I don't think I can even get an early harvest from that. But if you know any different, let me know. I guess we could open one. Oh, this one had two. Three.
A baby.
Unfortunate.
All right. What do you say? This one?
Sure. That's kind of pretty.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's edible though.
I don't know. Like in Asian cuisine, you have baby corn.
But is it like baby corn, or is that a variety of corn that is small?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's really soft, and you can eat like the core in the middle. So it's probably a baby of some type of corn. I don't know if it's a small variety on top of that though.
So check out this pumpkin vine. It starts here, and then it goes up in the trees, and then it keeps going. And I'm told by people taller than me that you can actually see it poking out the top of the trees. But won't it be funny if this puts on a pumpkin in the middle of the tree?
Wow.
Okay, so last but not least is the container garden. This is mostly herbs and hot peppers. Our resident orb weaver is still here. A lot of you commented last week that me talking about these spiders made you feel a little better about leaving them where they are, and I really like that.
Most of them we're waiting for them to get red,
Yes.
right? So are there any where we're not doing that?
That would be the serranos and jalapenos if I have any, but I actually, because so many of them are unlabeled, I don't know which are which. There's one that I think might be a jalapeno, but I tried it and it wasn't very spicy, so I'm not entirely sure. There's some buena mulatas down here to get.
This one?
Yeah. Also, something I was telling them last week is with peppers like this, you can kind of lift them up from the curved side, and if they rip off right at the stem, or the curved side of the stem, so like where the stem curves up into the plant,
Okay.
you can rip them up from that direction, and if it comes up easily, then it is probably pretty ripe and ready.
So you're saying since it curves down,
Mm-hmm.
you would pull up?
Yes.
How hard?
This one is probably a little dehydrated.
Okay. Should I snip him? Okay. How about these three? Or these two?
Yeah, I think those two are probably ready.
Okay. I'm just
So like if the plant is dehydrated, the stems will get a little softer and it won't be quite as easy to tell. These are the ones I was talking about that it turned black where the sun hit them.
Ooh. Do you think those are the jalapenos?
Yes. But I thought they were supposed to be bigger, and they're also not spicy. So I am unclear on what they are.
Do you want to wait and see if they change color?
Maybe. That
Wow.
might be a good idea.
Look at this one.
So pretty.
So pretty. Alright, so there is one in here that's kind of reddening.
Oh,
And I
that's
do
a
know-
serrano, I think.
Oh, you're right. I
Yeah.
thought it was on that plant.
We can pull that. Serranos, you're supposed to pull green.
See, that one popped off very nicely.
Mm-hmm.
So should I be looking for green ones on this then? That are
Yeah.
big? So like, that's too small.
Well, that one is kind of fat. I think it's just short.
Oh, okay, so good?
You can try it. Yeah.
That's what that pocket's for.
So the cayennes are coming in really nicely, actually. I have an entire freezer bag full of them, and somebody asked me why I'm freezing them last week, if I plan on dehydrating them eventually, and that is because I really only want to run my oven one time to dehydrate them all, and I don't own a dehydrator, so it's like the most energy efficient to just do them all in one batch. It is also the most time efficient because this can take like several hours in the oven, and I don't really want to be doing that every time I harvest like 3 more peppers off the plant. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this garden tour. This is a little silly, but I also think it's pretty cool. I'll be back next Wednesday with garden tour week 11. If you haven't already, please subscribe so that you can catch that update. But until next time, I wish you happy gardening.